Welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm so excited for season 2 and the great guests you're going to hear from, their struggles, how they overcame their struggles, their triumphs. Through personal and business life, I think they're tied together, and we're going to share great stories about that. This show isn't just about me. It takes a lot of good people working with me. Among them is my partner, H7 Network, and Clay Hicks. Building relationships, building community is the mission of H7 Network. They want to create a network of champions where everybody wins. Find out more at h7network.com. And we hope to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you through our show. Enjoy the show. We'll talk to you on the other side. Welcome, everyone. This is your host, Steve Ramona, with the podcast Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. And when you serve somebody, you've been through some down times. It's not easy to serve. But this next guest has dealt with addiction, dealt with family addiction, and some of the things that could take you down a big black hole. But he's out there serving the world, and I love him for that. Hey, you know what, Al? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, Steve. Greatly appreciate it. I've definitely been looking forward to it, so thank you.
Me too, because this is a ongoing problem for hundreds of years, but it's also something that I think we work towards. We can help people. Let's dive in. Why did you get into this addiction industry?
You know, that is a really great story. I got into it due to my wife's battle with alcoholism. Even though I battled an 8-year weekend cocaine and alcohol abuse myself back in the early 2000s, it ended in 2009 due to a job loss because of my addiction. My wife's addiction took me down a pretty dark road. And she said something to me once. She goes, "I wish you'd start being my husband instead of my damn therapist." Because I was always saying, you know, like a lot of us, just stop. Why are you doing this? I don't understand. I can have a drink and stop. Why can't you? And it's because we don't understand addiction. And it took me 7, 8 years of doing the same thing over and over with the same results, which was zero, to finally open my eyes. And once I started getting it and learning more about it, I'm like, if I can do something to help people understand, because there are others out there that are suffering just like I was, right? And we don't know how to handle it. And we think it's the addiction, whatever the substance or the thing is that people get addicted to, it's the Band-Aid. That's not the problem. The problem's coming from within. And so that's why I did it. You know, it's been over 2.5 years, and I've put myself in the community, the recovery community, and met some of the most amazing individuals I've ever met in my life, who look at life the way all of us should be looking at life. And and here I am. So that's what got me to jump in the pool.
Well, that's interesting, because we have friends of addictions, and people we know, people we introduce. Those are emotional, but when it's your wife, your children, it takes on a whole new level, right?
Oh yeah. You know, and I've had people call me and who have had children who have children that are battling with addiction, and they're like, "Al, what do I do?" And I'm like, well, first of all, you're in a different ballpark than I was in. Mine was my spouse. See, I can divorce my spouse. I can boot her out and I can go on with my life. When it's your child, you're talking a whole different game, because you love your kid, right? You don't want to see this happen. You can't divorce your child. I mean, I guess you can. Some parents have totally disowned their kids. However, it's not in our nature, right? Because they're our children. So it's a whole different battle, and there's really nothing we can do except support them and love them, because their choice is their choice. And hopefully the listeners understand, especially those if you have a family member, it doesn't matter what you say to them other than, "I love you. I'm here to support you any way I can, and I'd really like to see you get well." That's it. the rest is up to them. There's nothing you can do to lead them down the path that you're wanting to go down.
That's well said. And I love the children thing because you're right. Yeah, it's a wife and divorce happens all the time. You can easily, and you didn't. God bless you for working it. And now I've met your wife and I could tell you have a wonderful relationship. And that's the other side of the mountain that's so powerful. So do people come to you with addiction? Is it something you work towards to help people and find the resources?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm really glad that you asked that, Steve. You know, my producer who does our show, he told me, Al, as this thing gets going and it continues, you're going to find that people will start reaching out to you. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. You know, I just saying it in the back of my head.
Mhm.
I've had 2 calls in the past week and a half of people calling me. One call I got just Monday and said, hey, I got a beautiful young lady in my office who's struggling with addiction, and she has Medicaid and she doesn't know where to go and she's ready to get help. Do you have any resources? And I'm like, yes, I do. And these couple resources do take Medicaid, you know, and so yeah, I've put some about a half a dozen resources in my bucket who I feel they're there for the individual. They're not there for the money. They're there for the individual.
And that's important because you go for the money, are they really going to get help?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what's awesome about experiencing it yourself, your wife. You've gone through all. My dad always told me, don't recreate the wheel. You have the wheel. Just people reach out to you, and I'll get you the right place to go.
Yeah.
How rewarding is that?
Oh my gosh. See, the emotions are already coming. That's how rewarding it is. You know, knowing that if I can give someone a resource, you know, and it may work out for them, it may not. It may be a fit for them. I don't know. However, just knowing that I had a tool that I could give to someone and say, hey, give this a shot. And as a matter of fact, I followed up with both those people today. And I haven't heard back from the one of them, but I'm like, hey, I'm just following up. How are things going? You know, did they get the help that they need? Is there anything else I can do? Because, and I think Steve, when you and I talked earlier about a week or so ago, if I can help save one person, just one, everything I've went through, everything my wife has gone through has made it worth it, because we know it'll cause a snowball effect. We know that for a fact.
You give hope. Al,
Yeah.
that's missing in this world right now is hope.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're going to get me emotional too because I'm dealing with some myself and friends and other people. And I love your attitude of come to me for resource, no blame game, no anything. Let's just get you the support and the help you need. Because what we say in sales, find their pain point, right? Where are they hurting? You're literally helping people that are actually hurting physically and mentally, maybe one or the other or both. How powerful is that?
Oh, it's very, very powerful. Right. You know, I was working for a coaching company, and I'm gonna be professional. I'm not gonna say who they
Mhm.
are or who they were here in Salt Lake. And I was training me. He was teaching me that I had to learn how to pour salt in their wounds. And I didn't understand what he meant. And then one day we had a client come in who was looking to hire us for the services. And he's like, I'm going to show you how it's done. And literally, I had to walk out of the room. I'm like, my gosh, I understand what you mean by pouring salt in the wound. They're already hurting. And now you're helping them hurt more just so you can make $8,000.
Oh my God.
So it really opened my eyes with some things. Now, when it comes to this, I can send them a resource, and if it doesn't work out for them, it doesn't work out. However, if they're still willing to reach out, I've got another resource for them. And I'm not here to belittle them because they've been belittled enough. They've been beaten down enough. I'm here to do whatever I can. And if I'm not able to do it, I have other people that I can connect them with who have more experience than I do. And they've had a lot more training than I have,
Yeah.
where I can say, you know what, this is out of my hands. However, I can connect you with this person and hopefully they can help you.
Your superpowers, you've been through it. We just said it earlier. How much does that help you with people with addiction?
It's helped me a ton. It's helped me realize the stigma that's out there. Steve, I never looked at myself as an addict. And my wife, we even had a conversation 2 weeks ago. She goes, babe, I don't think you were an addict. I'm like, why do you say that? I did it every Friday and Saturday night for 8 years. And I did it for 3 years when we were dating and you didn't even know. She knew I was drinking, but she didn't know I was snorting cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
So where it's helped me is watching her go through it and realizing it's not the substance. That woman's been hurting from some scars deep, deep, deep inside. And all she wanted to do was try to forget it and numb it. And however, it doesn't work. And by the time you realize it, it's got a hold of you. I like to use eagle talons because they're so sharp. An eagle can swoop down and pick up a 10-pound or 15-pound fish out of the ocean and just fly away like it's nothing. And the talons have got such a grip on it. And it doesn't matter how much that fish flops around. Usually the eagle or the hawk doesn't lose it, right? Because those talons are in so deep. And the addiction is that way with individuals. And the stigma that society looks at individuals who battle addiction, I tell you what, take some time and figure out who these people are and what they've gone through in their life, and you'll totally change your mind.
How much is it for a person to admit they have an addiction?
Oh, it's tough. Really it is, right? Because it's that fear of being judged, ridiculed, which they've already had happen to them. They don't want more of it to be piled up. And I'll share a good example. Steve, I started doing my podcast and started doing public speaking. I was talking about my wife's journey, right? My wife's story with addiction. I didn't even start sharing my addiction until January of this year. And the reason behind it, I didn't want certain family members to hear about it.
Yeah.
It's that shame, right? And I started thinking after a good friend talked to me and told me, you will be more powerful telling your story than your wife. And he was right. And it lifted so many weights off my shoulders that I didn't even realize I was carrying.
Yeah, but I respect you even more for that. That's the powerful thing. And I know it's hard, but once you admit it, it's like I had to learn that too. I don't know, addiction, so I'm not there, but to admit you could wrong. I just did this morning. I made a mistake and I admitted it. The people are like, no worries, we still love you. It's okay. This is much deeper, but you can get past that mountain of all that you said. It's crazy. And then the world is much different now. And addiction is probably more prevalent because of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's doubled, if not quadrupled, since COVID.
Wow, that much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's rampant out there. And Utah, Salt Lake here, we have more recovery centers per capita than any state out there.
Holy
And
mackerel.
there's more and more popping up. It seems like every month you'll hear of another one opening up. And I don't, again, this is just my belief. Okay. This is just coming from how I see it. I don't believe all of them out there are there for the right purpose.
Yeah.
Because it's a revolving door. It's a money making machine. It's an ATM, constant ATM. Someone comes in, they stay for 30s, they get booted out because the insurance won't pay anymore, or they just decide they're done with it. And who much longer, they're right back in again. And that's another thing that I talk about on our show a lot as well, is something needs to change in the system. Because why do we leave the life of our loved ones in the hands of insurance companies? Why do they get to determine how long someone stays in recovery? They don't know jack crap about addiction. It doesn't take no 30, 60, or 90 days. It doesn't even take 6 months. It takes a lot longer than that. However, We're paying them all this money and they decide when they're done. And when they're done paying, that person's back out on the street, and more than likely they're going to go right back to the life that they left 30 months or, a month ago.
Yeah, money rules the roost, and that's unfortunate. And you're right. I agree with you. Insurance companies and we all know that. It's just that it's a system change. It's not me and you making the change, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your podcast. I love your podcast. I love mine, but yours is just awesome. Talk about what you do and name of the podcast, how they can find you.
So the name of the podcast is what you see on the background. It's AR, the other side of addiction. And I get asked a lot what AR stands for. And it's like, well, two things, take it however you want to. It's either Al Richards or addiction recovery. You can look at it either way. And you can find me on all the platforms. We're on YouTube, Podbean, Apple Pod, Spotify. You can find all the shows on there. We do video and audio. So most of the Podbean, Spotify is all audio. YouTube and Facebook is all through video and audio. And the guests that we come on are vulnerable. We have guests come on and they share a part of their life that was a dark, dark place. And they do it for a reason, to get people to understand what they've gone through. I mean, we've had men and women come on who were sexually assaulted from very young ages all the way into their teenage years. And we've had some that have come from very, very religious families. We've had some where men and women have gone on missions and then ended up becoming addicts after the mission. We've had some that were addicts before and then got out of it and went on missions. We've had some come from wealthy families, middle-class families, poor families. We've had a mom and a daughter who lived on the streets together and shot each other up with heroin. And I mean, we have people come on and talk about trauma, professionals come on and talk about trauma and mental health. And we come on and talk about wellness, sound bathing and meditation, and it all falls under the addiction umbrella. So these are the type of guests that we bring on, because you don't know what kind of tool is out there that can help an individual.
I like that, because it is a tool, because people can understand that. They can recognize that. We hear all the time, addict is never recover. I mean, they're not fully ever recovery. They're always working. Is that really true?
Yeah, because they get triggers, right? I've heard people who have been clean and sober for 20, 30 years, and they still get triggers. When my dad stopped smoking, my dad had stopped smoking for 15 years. And he said at times he would still reach for his shirt pocket to grab a pack of cigarettes, thinking that they were still there. The difference is, they don't really, not all of them call themselves addicts anymore. They're in long-term recovery. They don't want to put that label on them, right? Because they're not addicts. They're not using.
I love that.
However, they have to really pay attention to what's going on, and they have to pay attention to their feelings. And when they get those triggers, now they have certain tools that they know that they can do and use to help them get through whatever it is that they're going through. I just had a gentleman on the show this morning who went through 11 years worth of opioid use. He goes, "How I'm still alive, Al, I don't know." He goes, and honestly, I really don't know how I'm still alive. And he lost a sister-in-law due to opioids a couple of years ago. And he said, Eddie started crying. He says, I'm probably going to lose my brother here really soon. And it's hard. And he's like, I don't know how I've come out of this. And he goes, and I'm scared, because when I lose my brother, I know what's going to pop into my head. It's like, I can't handle this. I want to go use. And he goes, and I have to recognize this when it happens. And he goes, I'm already preparing myself, so I know what I need to do and where I need to go, so I don't go down that path again.
Al, this is just amazing to me, because I've never dealt with this, and I'm blessed, and whatever words you want to use. So this is so foreign to me. I love hearing what you're saying, because it'll equip me if I see it in a family, friend, coworker, to get them help. Support sounds like it's so big in this. Again, wherever that support comes from, right?
Yes. Yeah, you need the support. I mean, I'll put it to you this way, and I don't know if this even makes sense. I was a guest on a podcast yesterday, and I was telling the gentleman, I'm like, professional athletes, they work their butts off to get to where they're at. They're professionals. However, they still need support, right? And they still need a coach, and they need someone to still direct them and lead them in the right direction. And recovery is that same way. You need someone there, because one of the biggest things that a lot of addicts suffer from is that loneliness and the shame, and people just disowning them, and they really need that connection. Even though their head tells them no and they'll fight it, they're starving for it. They need that direction. So it's like, if we're playing basketball and I foul you and we're in professional or even college, who hands you the ball? It's not the player. The player goes up to the foul line, right? And the ref, when it's time, he hands you the ball. Now, it's up to that person whether he wants to shoot or not. However, he's still there to assist you, right? And your other teammates are there to assist you as well. And that's what's cool about the recovery community, because if you don't have family or friends who understand and they still want to push you under the rug, I tell you what, the recovery community, they are some of the most, like I said before, amazing people, and they are there to support you 100%. They will not judge you. None of that. If you slip, they'll be the first ones to put their arm around you and say, okay, it's a little slip. Let's get you back on track. And they won't put you down. They won't make you feel like you're worthless. They're there to lift you back up. And that's the kind of support from family members need to give to their loved ones as well. As hard as it is, it's not easy. However, somehow, some way, you got to work through it.
So what I'm hearing from you, Alan, it's scaring is not the right word, but it's frightening me, is you need support, but you have shame because you don't want to tell anybody. So you're in this vicious circle of, I need support, but I can't go get it because I'm afraid to tell anybody. Am I nailing it? Getting it right?
Yeah. Well, and you're afraid to go back to people that you've gone to how many times, right? My wife came back to me as many times as I kicked her out. She came back to me so many times. I don't know how many times I heard, this time it'll be different. I heard that more than I can flip and count. This time will be different. And it wasn't. It was not different. It was the same. And it took me 7-8 years to learn how that I had boundaries as well. Right before she started getting on the train of recovery, she said, it seems like you're getting on with your life without me. And I says, I am. And I says, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot be around it anymore. And I said, look, if you want to jump on the train with me, I want you to come with me. However, if you decide to jump off because you need to go the direction you've been going, I wish you the best. Now, if you jump on this train, I will do whatever I can as long as you are sober to give you all the support you need. That's all I'm asking. You stay sober, I'll be here for you 100%. But as soon as you veer off of that, I have my boundaries, you're out of it.
How'd you learn that? Or did somebody help you, or you just had enough?
No, I learned it after 7-8 years of making this. I'm a slow learner, apparently.
That's okay. Yeah, you learn. That's the important thing.
Plus, I started talking to people who have been in recovery, right? And they were telling me,
there you go,
what happened to them with family members and friends and different things. And they just started saying, hey, I didn't realize I had triggers. I didn't realize I had boundaries. I just thought that was the addicts, because I went to a ton of AA meetings with my wife, a ton, to support her. And I always heard about boundaries for them, triggers for them, not realizing it's the same for us on the other side.
Yeah.
So again, I'm a slow learner, but I finally understood it.
Amen. I mean, you learned. That's the end result was you learned. You guys are still together. You've worked on it. How long has she been sober?
June 9th, she hit 30 months, 2.5 years.
Amen. God bless her. God bless
Right?
you. Oh my God, that's powerful. And if it's one day or 30 months, 30 weeks or 30 months, 30 years, every day is a new day, right?
Yeah. You know what's really
Um,
cool, Steve, is we did an event down in St. George, Utah, which is about 350 miles south of Salt Lake City. It was called Healing Utah Success Summit. I was one of the speakers. My friend Mallory was a speaker. Dave DeRocher, who's the executive director for the Other Side Academy downtown Salt Lake, he's doing freaking amazing things, him and his team. After that weekend, on the way home, my wife goes, I don't want to do accounts payable anymore. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And she goes, I want to be a certified peer support specialist, a CPSS. And I'm like, really? And she goes, this weekend inspired me so much. Now, a year before that, somebody mentioned that to her and she said, oh, hell no, absolutely not. Well, guess she works for a recovery center as a CPSS now, helping
oh my
others in
God,
their
Al.
journey.
It is, these are stories people need to hear. Why I wanted you on my show. Real quick before I forget, people are listening right now. How can they shout out to you? Give a shout out to what you're, how to get a hold of you.
Gosh, they can find me on Facebook under Al Richards, or they can also find me on AR, the @ AR, the other side of addiction. You can message me, feel free to email me. You can email me at mralrichards@gmail.com. And, anything I can do to help or direct or answer any questions. And if I can't answer your questions, I'll find someone that can. And yeah, I'd be more than happy to help any way I can.
I'm going to add to that, Al. We just met a couple weeks ago, but we've gotten closer. We've had some interactions, email, and now the show. I want to do even more, and this is honor of your wife and you. I will send out 5 gifts to the first 5 people. I will mail them gifts from me, not from you, from anybody, but from me. I'm gonna put money where my mouth is. The first 5 people that reach out to you that mention this show, Al let me know. I'll get your contact info, get your physical address. I'm going to ship you out a gift because
Okay.
this is powerful. I need to be part of this, and I will be. And this is not the first or last time we're going to talk, because there's a lot of things we can do, because addiction is so widespread. And you've been there. You've taught me so much, and my listeners so much today. Just in 25 minutes we've talked. We're going to do part 2 because there's so much more we're going to cover. I need to learn more because you can support me in case I run into these people. And that's what a servant heart does. And that's why I'm so glad to have you on the show. We ran out of time. We could probably go another hour. And I know you probably have to go back to your beautiful wife and hug her, give her a hug for me, because I'm so happy where you guys are today and what your future looks like. Can I ask one more favor?
Absolutely.
You've been through a lot in your life, and I'm praying for you and praying for your wife. But what's a great tip you've learned through this journey that can help my audience in their journey, whether it's addiction or just getting better in their life?
Couple things that come to mind, Steve, and see, you can hear the emotion in my voice already.
Mhm.
Loving yourself, number one. It's not, I don't know how to put it. Love yourself, right? If you love yourself, so many amazing things start happening in your life. You cannot help other individuals with struggles that they have unless you can help yourself. And the other thing would be kindness. And I think you just said it a couple times throughout the show here, Steve, that this world needs a lot of kindness and love right now. You don't know what someone's going through. Don't do, and maybe a lot of you have, and I'm just as guilty. I'm not innocent. Go downtown, you see the unsheltered, the addicts, alcoholics down there, and you say, get your life together. Why don't you do something with yourself? Blah, blah, blah. You don't know what these people have gone through in their life. Realize it's not the drugs and the alcohol or the gambling or the porn, whatever it may be. It's just the Band-Aid. Forgive, because what helped me in my journey, a huge step, when I prayed and fasted, I kept hearing this word forgiveness, and my higher power for me is God. And I'm like, God, if you think I'm going to forgive her, no way. She's put me way through too much. And it finally dawned on me after a couple weeks, it wasn't her that I needed to forgive. It was me. And once I forgave myself, my world started changing.